All right, so hear me out. I'm no genetic freak. I wasn't born with a six pack, abs, you know what I mean, straighter arms, all of that. None of that, man. Everything came from straight work. You know what I mean? So today I'm gonna tell you how to build a physique off of calisthenics, starting from the neck down. You know what I mean? All right. So first thing we're gonna do is like talk about the shoulders, right? How to get shoulders. Now that has to be the easiest part of building a physique, especially when doing calisthenics, because everything you do is shoulders, man. Push-ups, shoulders, pull-ups, shoulders, handstands, shoulders. Even doing the plank is shoulders. So shoulders, that's gonna come with it. But of course, hit your pike push-ups, still hit your handstands to make them look really, really nice, right? Next thing we gotta go with the chest next, right? We got shoulders and chest. You know what I mean? The chest is like the foundation of having a nice physique, man. That's something that I've always had a nice chest, right? I said that everything, every part of my body, my chest was kind of the nicest, you know, right? So chest, you already know what it is, man. Push-ups and dips, right? That's all you can really do. Push-ups and dips, weighted, non-weighted, high reps, lower reps when you're doing the weighted. You know what I mean? But you gotta get that weighted in, man. If you ain't doing the weighted in, man, I don't know what you're doing. And then when it comes to the push-ups, you gotta do wide grip. You know, with the shoulders coming out and with them coming in, just like that. All right. Some people they say, you know, when you're doing going out, it's bad for your shoulder. But check me out. I never had any shoulder problems off of doing them like this, and I started off doing them like that in like high school, right? That's how everyone was doing push-ups back in the day. You know, there was no that. It was just that was easier. So, you know, hit your push-ups, hit your dips. You're gonna build that chest up real nice. All right, what we got next? Right, next I'm gonna go into triceps. Right, why not? Chest, triceps. That's the same thing, man. Dips and push-ups. Your diamond push-ups. You know, your close grip, wide grip push-ups, man, and of course dips, weighted dips, non-weighted. You got to get the weighted in, man. Whether it be 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 35 pounds, you can go as heavy as you want to, but you got to add some weight if you want to build them triceps and get that horseshoe. I already got the horseshoe. Y'all feel it? All right. Then we're gonna go back next to the biceps, right? Okay, you know, right? We moving, right? Right? Shoulders, chest, triceps, biceps is next. Easy for the biceps, right? You do your regular pull-ups, you do your chin-ups, weighted, non-weighted. You gotta do your chin-ups though, man. You got to. People skip that and want to focus on the pull-ups because they are a bit harder, but you gotta do your chin-ups, man. That's the only way to get a chest, and it has to be weighted. It gotta be weighted, G. You know what I mean? I do mine weighted all the time. My biceps are poking out like crazy, man. They peaking right now, like a mountaintop. I ain't even capping. You feel it? All right. Next thing we got is the abs. Now everyone gonna say this, right? Abs are built in the kitchen, which they are, but that's just the beginning part of it, right? You know, you gotta do your ab exercises, right? And how you gonna build that? Simple, right? You gotta do your toe to bars, right? Or knee raises. You gotta do your calisthenic planks. Okay. Now we do your planks. You know, you really gotta plank it out, man, because that's like the foundation of calisthenics. Period. Helps with everything. You know, you gotta hit at least a minute plank, man. You start for 1 minute and you gotta take it up. Me, I like to do mine's like sets, right? Hold it for a minute, switch it up with some push-ups, go back into the plank for a minute, same thing, push-ups, and then plank it again, whatever it is, man. Yeah, so that's how you get in the abs, the planks, the push-ups, um, my bad, not push-ups, but the planks. Also, you gotta do your cardio, right? I'm gonna say running, man. I'm gonna say jogging. You know, I'm not a big jogger, but I do jog at least twice a week, getting about 20 minutes. Now, if you're a beginner, start off about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You know what I mean? But you gotta get that jogging in, and then also you gotta get your sprints in, right? Yeah, get your sprints. You know what I mean? That's gonna help with the abs too. And believe it or not, burpees, they're gonna help with the abs. All right, it's a full body workout. You know, the way you think about it, you're going down to push up, bring your legs forward to your chest, however you're doing it. Use the abs for that. You know, you're burning calories, you're burning fat. So you gotta do your burpees as well. So planks, burpees, toe to bars, those are gonna be the foundation of abs, right? You want to do anything else on abs, look it up online. But I'm telling you what I did to get my abs, right? And it worked for me. All right. Next thing we're gonna do is the back, right? Who can't forget the back? Okay. And you already know what I'm gonna say when it comes to the back. You gotta get your pull-ups in, all right? Chin ups, different grip pull-ups, weighted, non-weighted. You gotta do both, and you gotta do your muscle ups. Believe it or not, people say muscle ups is a party trick, but that's not facts though. I mean, muscle ups will help build a nice back, and I got proof of that. Okay, so what we got next? We got like the quads and the hams. All right, you already know what it is. Squatting with that. Um, Good mornings, pistol squats, weighted, non-weighted with everything. You know what I mean? Uh, that's it for that. Get your sprints in, get your jogging. That's gonna help you out with the legs. Calves next, gotta do your calf raises. Okay, you gotta do them on steps, flat ground, weighted, non-weighted, and there you go, G. There you go, man. That's the way to build a physique off of calisthenics, right? You really gotta do these things, right? Now I'm gonna add in a couple of things that people just um, might not take serious, but you gotta add the intensity in. All right, now when I'm doing my push-ups, pull-ups, and dips, squats, all that, man, right? I got a intensity in me that, like, you really gotta have. I'll spend an hour just doing around the world, right? So around the world is pretty much you do your pull-ups. You pick a number, right? I say you start off with 10. I do like 15, 20, right? Then you do your pull-ups, dips, push-ups, squats, and you keep doing it over and over and over again. All right, don't worry about the count. All right, just do it over and over again. I might hit it for an hour over and over again, doing the basics over and over again. You know what I mean? And then I might add some weight. I might have a day where I add weight to it, lower the reps, and I might have a day where I'm just doing like high reps, right? So if I pick 15 when I'm on set number 10, I might not be able to get 15 reps straight, but I'm gonna hit like 12, maybe even 10, take a break, finish off those last five. But you gotta get those sets in, those reps, man. You know what I mean? Really the only way to do that. And so you gotta watch what you eat too as well. Me, I'm not big on the carbs. I try to keep it just meat and vegetables. That's it. Not too crazy. Every once in a while, I have a little snack. Everyone has a little cheat day and everything. But so that's it for the diet. Look into it. I'm not gonna preach a diet here, but I do believe in the paleo diet, the keto diet, as well as the Mediterranean, right? And you can take parts of each one of those diets and make it your own, make it easier for you. But I always say go easy on the carbs. That's just my opinion. Right? You can do what you want. If you want to add carbs in, go ahead. But for me, what works for me is going easy on the carbs. And the last thing is you gotta get that sleep, man. You got to, right? That's what keeps you energized, young, and motivated to make it to the next workout. You know what I mean? So anyways, your man live not the stiff, man. And that's the easiest way to build a physique off of calisthenics. I'm out, G.